There's been many nights I cried myself to sleep, crying what about me? Saying, oh Lord, do you hear my prayer? The struggle's kinda hard, you see. Just when I thought about giving up, His glory came through, He whispered in my ear, I never leave you, don't you worry about a thing. I'll take it from here, got my breakthrough, yeah. I shouted from the valley to the mountain top, ooh, yeah. I'm better than I've been before, and I bring it on. Stronger than I can, so much stronger than I can't be stopped. Ooh, got my breakthrough. I struggled to the point I cried to myself, took the blame to myself.
God bless you today. I am so happy and so excited to be here one more time. This is Bishop Albert Thompson. I'm just having a wonderful time today. We've been doing little things a little bit different. We're starting to want to get really involved in what's going on in a lot of the communities. We normally have people from all over the country and all over the world. And so, we have an audience in Africa. We have an audience in Canada, I believe it is. We have an audience just everywhere. People are watching online. Definitely in Texas now. Definitely in Texas, where my family and my people are from. And we got some people coming on next week from the local area. And so we just want you to sit back and just relax. We're doing something great and wonderful here. This is another day that God has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. And I want to tell you something. God has no questions. All He has is answers. God has no problems. All He has is solutions. All right. Why don't you go to Uplift? That's the newest Christian Facebook. That's Uplift. UPLYFTT.com. And look me up, and I'll tell you what, you're going to see some posts we made on there. We're also on Twitter as @Rise Up, Facebook, Albert Thompson. And I tell you what, we just, and Albert Thompson also on LinkedIn. So we're just doing a lot of things, and we're just so excited about what's going on. All right, we got something going on here today. I have a young man next to me that I've known for a long time, and he's really a community person, a community activist. I won't say activist, just he's involved in the community. Yes. And works here in Lafayette, and he does some things. And so we want to just kind of introduce him to you today. His name is Mr. John Kirsten Major, and he's actually running for an office at large.
Alderman at large.
Alderman at large in St. Landry Parish. So let's just introduce him to you today. God bless you, my friend.
God bless you, brother.
Welcome to the show.
Man, I appreciate the invite.
Just say hello to our viewing audience out there.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Kirsten Major. I'm a candidate for Alderman at large in the great city of Opelousas, Louisiana. And I appreciate Bishop for inviting me over today.
All right. I've known each other for a while. I just thank God for him, man of character, man of integrity. And let's just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm married to Mercedes Major for 25 years, and we have 3 daughters, Brianna, Brittany, and Braylee. Mm-hmm. I work for a great company, Frito-Lay. Run a business every day, and so I'm really, really excited about being here.
Amen. Now, a lot of people get excited. We have some questions for you. We want to have just a little chat here.
Oh, yeah, yes,
a lot of people have different reasons why they do stuff, and you seem to be a guy that's community all the time. Just to be, that's just who you are, I've been around people my whole life, the things I've done, and you just seem to be somebody. I ain't never seen you in no confusion. I ain't never seen you around no nonsense. You just seem to be a community involved person. My question is, how important is that for us, as especially as men, to be involved in our communities?
Well, first of all, we should be, as men, try to be role models to our little brothers and sisters out there. And my biggest thing is I have kids, and I want them to see, what real life is about. It's
Okay,
not always
all right.
about me. You know, it's not we that's the selfish person that's always thinking about them.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was always saying, man, I got to give back.
Yeah.
You know, so I've always, even from a young kid, loved to volunteer, give back to my community.
All right. Yeah. You know, and you know, we struggle sometimes with role models. Some people don't want the pressure of being a role model.
And you know, I guess I got to bring it back. I grew up in a single parent home.
Okay.
I grew up on Kim Drive, which is, they call it the all mill in Opelousas in the projects.
Okay.
My mom, they did everything possible to raise us the right way.
Okay.
And I give a lot of credit, and I give a lot of credit to some older men that I ran into during my younger days, and
Yes.
that brought me down these roads and told me, look, man, there's a narrow road and there's a wide road. You know, so you could get in trouble and you stay on that wide road, or you can stay right and get on that narrow road, and that stuck with me.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
over the years. And that, you know, these guys would take the time to try to mentor me because they knew I was in a single parent home.
Okay.
You know, but my mom put the fear of God in us.
All right.
You know, when we were young,
Okay.
you know, spare the rod, spoil the child. There wasn't no sparing at my house. I didn't have to get whipped but 1 or 2 times, and I understood. You know, so
Yeah.
I credit my mom for that
Okay.
because, you know, so many times, man, I see. You know, I work in stores all day. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
job I have a bunch of accounts. So I see a lot of kids, and their parents just let them run around, knock stuff off the shelf, bust bags, do whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, come here, Johnny, or whatever their name is. You know, nah, man, we'd do that, man. My mama would have bust us up.
Well, I laughed at a guy who told me, he said he saw a kid went in the store and he mashed 40 loaves of bread, and they told and
It wasn't your bread when you were working bread.
no, it wasn't mine. And he said they went and told the manager, and the manager went and got the police in the store and showed him what he, and the woman said, "I'm not paying for that." He said, "Oh yes, ma'am, you gonna pay for that." And what got tickled me, he said, "That'd have been my kid. He all he would have ate was bread until all of us gone." So, you know, and you know, when you talk about growing up, you had those older guys to mentor you. My father, my grandfather, his uncles, my dad's uncles. I mean, and I was just always around men. I didn't know what a lazy man was until I grew up, because all the men in my life, they were the only reason my dad stopped working. He got ill, and the doctor said you could, because he couldn't even. His high blood pressure was so high, they wouldn't even let him drive anymore.
Wow.
And so, but that's the only reason, because you know, my dad would have made 101 this year.
Wow.
Okay, and so when he was 12, he had to quit school and go to work in the field to help the family. And so that's what I was used to. And so and watching you and knowing you, that's it. I hate to say you put people in category, but you see how a person, you just seem like you type person. I'm gonna get out here and do it. I got to do to take care of my legally now. Go to work.
Oh yes.
Go to work. You know.
You know, I tell people all the time. I started when I was about 12.
Okay.
11, 12. And the neighborhood grocery store was called, it's Papillon's now, but it used to be called Jerry's back then. And I used to go put out his groceries. And when I first started, I go 2 or 3 days a week for $25 a week. Man, I thought I was the king. You know, and then as that progressed, I started hanging around the church, you know, and they needed a little help. So the guy started paying me $50 a week. So I'd go put groceries out some weeks, and every other week put groceries out, and then make my 25 plus make my 50. Man, I was the king. And you know, I did that for a long time. You know, so yeah, I've been doing this I've always had a job.
All right.
I gotta have, man, I like money. I used to love some money. You know, we grew up poor, man.
Okay.
And let me tell you something, you know, we were fortunate. My mom, we grew up My mom had a couple sisters that didn't have any kids.
Okay.
So they helped us.
Okay.
And there's only 3 of us. I have twin sisters.
Okay.
And my mom. And so we grew up, and we were fortunate that they helped us. I got to go to a really good school when I was younger.
Okay.
But I really appreciate, all of that, man. All of that made me who I am today.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's so important. And then before we get into these other questions, what do you think is just different today than what it is when you grew up? What the mindset of people or neighbors or people helping people?
I think on 2 fronts.
Okay.
We got children having children.
Yes.
Okay, that's a serious issue in our community.
Yeah.
So I think that at some point, we have to re-educate and try to reform that, because with children having children, they don't get that upbringing that we got.
That's right.
You see, So I mean, it's a real sticky situation, because in the old days the saying was, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So I can remember my mama telling me, boy, don't go on that side of town. So I thought I was a man. I said, man, ain't nobody gonna see me. I went on that side of town anyway. Guess what? Before I could get home, my mama knew. I had just bought me a little moped. I had a little moped. She didn't pay for it.
Okay.
But when I got home, she said, give me the key, because you disobeyed me.
All right.
And guess what? I hand over the key. So I'm just saying, that's the type of upbringing we had. The community helped mold and make you. So today, if you go tell a parent, hey, look, your kid was doing this or that, they want to fight you.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And I think that we have to get back to that. We have to get back to that community.
Yeah. Well, I heard a guy say that one time. He said that his mama had a rule that they had to be in the house before dark. And sometimes they would stretch. Man, I made it, and say his daddy laughed and said, woman, you going to make that boy hurt himself getting in this house. But they said a family moved into the neighborhood that liked to steal. And somebody had stole something from somebody's house. And they asked, did anybody see who it was? And they said, I think it was one of those boys. And she said, no way. So what time was it? She said, it was about 9 o'clock. I said, no. They in that house before dark. You know what I'm saying? So it was just you're running for office. So what inspired you to run for office?
Well, I have a zeal for my community.
Okay.
I see my community dying.
Okay.
I like to tell people we're in the bowl right now in Opelousas.
Okay.
So it's going to take some strong leadership to get us out of that bowl. It's going to take some innovation to get us out of that bowl.
Okay.
It's going to take some optimism to get us out of that bowl. And I have all of those. I have all those characters. And, I'm excited about working hard for the people.
Okay.
I mean, anything that I get involved in, I give it 110%.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit down and go to the meetings and just say yes or no, or yeah or there, I'm here or not. That's not me. Right. I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to make my community better. I have an actual zeal for my community.
All right. Well, when you say how a zeal for your community, do you feel like a lot of people do that, just get in there? Because I remember I was getting ready to vote one time, and a guy came to my house and he was talking about his opponent, and he said, this guy ain't been to he said, this guy ain't been to a meeting in over a year. So, or I've heard of people not voting yes or no, they vote present. I'm here.
The only time that a person should actually vote, I'm gonna say abstain. They should never vote present.
Okay.
You should be a man or be a woman and vote yes or no.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a conflict of interest,
I got you.
Then I can see you voting.
Yeah.
Present or abstain. I would abstain, because meaning that I have a conflict of interest, so I'm gonna abstain from this vote because I don't want to be biased.
Okay, I got you.
So I think that we have to be, like I said, we have to be truthful.
Yes.
To that.
Yes. Isn't that a lot of added pressure to be, out front where everybody can see you like that?
Well, it is, but I've been out front on. I've been in leadership. Everywhere I go, I try to be in a leadership role.
Okay.
Or everything I do, I try to get in a leadership role.
Okay.
I tell my kids all the time, I'm not raising followers. I'm raising leaders.
All right.
And so don't be afraid to get up out front. I'm not afraid of that.
Okay.
Look, I'm not perfect. I've made a bunch of mistakes in my life, but it's when you make those mistakes is how you grow.
Okay.
So I'm not afraid to go out there and work hard. Sometimes you fall. The Bible say, the righteous man falls 7 times, but what? He get back up.
He get back up.
So
yeah.
Sometimes we have to fall, but we get back up.
Yeah. Somebody gonna go back sometime in politics. People go way back to something. Somebody gonna say, well, he took his moped to the other side of town when his mom had to go. Would you trust a man like that?
Well, in my youthfulness, yeah, I would, because I learned from it. I got punished.
Yeah.
So I guarantee I didn't go back.
Yeah. And it is so dangerous out there now. Until our children need to understand that people need to understand. Like you say, even though your mother told you not to go over there, and you don't go to that side of town, but when I was a kid, even the most delinquent, when I was going to school, the most delinquent, getting in trouble, a rebellious child, a kid, wouldn't bring a knife or a gun to school.
No.
The biggest thing we did was got in a fist fight. A fist fight, and afterwards, if the person was good at sports, you picked him to be on your team, and y'all just got through fighting.
Yeah. Well, but it was a deal where we fought, and then it's over.
Yeah, that's it.
But then I'm gonna be honest. As I got older, as a teenager, if you beat somebody, you probably have to beat them the next day. So that's how time started to change, and just from young to when I got to be an adult, how times change. From we'll fight today, we friends tomorrow.
Yeah.
To fight today, got to fight tomorrow.
All right.
So but times change, I tell my kids that all the time. I say, you got to be careful.
Okay.
You can't even go to the store today. When you get out your car, I tell my kids, my oldest 2 drive. I say, when you go somewhere, when you drive up, you start scanning and seeing what was going on around the place.
That's right.
If something looks suspicious, keep riding.
Yeah.
Come back. Don't get down.
Yeah. Yeah. Things could change. Even in the type, we've done the same type of work, and they always tell you that if you got to back up when you first get there.
That's right.
Because things could change
fast.
In a hurry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Things can really change in a hurry.
I can tell you about it.
and you just and it is all different. Now, how would you start to get Opelousas back on track economically?
Well, economically, my take on the first thing that need to be done is we have to clean up the city.
Okay. We
have to clean up the city before you can attract industry to come to Opelousas. We need to clean it up.
All right.
I've ridden around a couple Saturdays and it's bad.
All right.
We got a lot of houses that need to be torn down.
Okay.
We have a lot of grass that need to be cut. We have to hold some of these property owners to a standard.
Yeah.
We have to hold them to a standard.
Yeah. I tell you, I went to a neighborhood somewhere one time, wasn't in Opelousas, and I saw this beautiful house. Like it was people were living there. It was a new construction, and I kid you not, it looked like the grass was over a foot high. I said, man, it's a new house, man. You know what I'm saying?
Remember earlier I talked about we have to re-educate our people? Same thing. We have to re-educate them to take pride in where you live at.
Yeah.
This is some serious stuff. We have to take pride in Opelousas.
All right.
This is our place. This is my town. I'm not running from my town. I'm staying. I know a lot of people picked up and moved on, because of the situation. But I don't want to be one of those people. I want to be one of the people that's going to come and give 110% to make it better.
All right.
if we clean up our town, and we could draw some people in there.
All right.
You know, and I'll talk later about some other things I like to do, you know, in terms of economic development.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
okay.
so, but that's the first thing we have to do. The first thing we have to do is clean up our city.
All right. All right. Now, when you say clean it up, you mean clean it up collectively or just enforce?
Well, I think we got to do collectively, because I think the first thing, like I've shared over and over, is it's going to take the mayor's office, the city council, it's going to take the business owners, it's going to take the citizens of Opelousas, it's going to take a collective togetherness.
Okay.
It's going to take us all to get Opelousas back.
Okay.
It's not just one entity can't do it.
Okay.
So we need everybody. We need the citizens to have a sense of pride, a sense of ownership to the city.
Okay.
You know, and that's important. So we have to rebrand our city.
Okay. Okay.
We have to rebrand it.
Okay. 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 All right. All right.
You know, it's all in the mind. It's a mindset. It's like, I'm gonna just say this. It's like knocking doors.
Okay.
I get up early in the morning to go to work. I get off, go home, change clothes, go knock doors. It's a mindset. Most people would say, man, there's no way I could do it, I'm tired. But if you put that in your mind that you're tired, guess what? You ain't gonna go nowhere, you're gonna just go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you change your mindset to say, this is something that I wanna achieve, this is a goal that I wanna achieve, then you put your mind to that goal, you can do anything.
All right, all right, all right. And that's true, that's true. Because some things I used to keep saying I was getting old, and then I start forgetting stuff. And I used to say that, and because somebody asked me why I cut all my hair off. Well, it was getting a little thin.
Like mine.
And so I cut it down real short, and I messed up. So I said, it's the style anyway. I cut it all off. That was back when everybody was doing it. And then when I tried to grow it back, all this was going in front. And I said, you know what? I'm going to quit saying.
That's right. Quit saying you're old. You know what I tell people? Only clothes get old.
All right.
I age.
All right.
Like a fine wine.
Now, how would you raise revenue in the city of Opelousas?
Well, the approach that I would have is, you know, I think that we have to use sports.
Okay.
And it's going to be twofold for me.
Okay.
We have to use sports.
All right.
One of the things is we have a park on Cherry Street. We have North Park, South Park, and we have other little small parks in communities. But we have a Cherry Street that was property was donated to build a park on.
Okay.
And I've been advocating for this for 8 years now.
Okay.
Okay. So you can go look at Carencro, Broussard. You go to Little Eunice. You go to Ville Platte. All these places have nice facilities for baseball, softball.
Okay.
They host tournaments. They host concerts. They whatever, you know, just different things that could bring in several thousands of dollars. Okay, I'm gonna just use for instance. I was at a tournament. My daughter played travel ball.
Okay.
So we went to this tournament, and it's a local tournament. And I'm not gonna say where because I don't want to put these people business on the street.
Yeah.
But we went to a local tournament. So it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. So the Tuesday we had a regular game at that same place. So I asked the lady that was in charge, I said, question. I said, you don't have to answer it, but I'm curious. I said, I'm on the Park and Recreation Commission out in Opelousas. I said, how much money did y'all make profit of the tournament? She said, oh, 70,000.
Ooh, wow.
One weekend.
Okay.
One weekend. Now, let me just explain this. That was 70,000 that the park made. Just the park that was fenced in.
Okay.
They brought in 40 teams from all over. That wasn't counting hotels. That wasn't counting eateries, which is restaurants, convenience foods. That wasn't fuel. That wasn't counting none of that. So the theory is if the park made 70, then the town made 3 times that.
All right, I got you.
So look how much, you know, so you not only made 70, but look how much tax dollars, another $100 and something thousand worth of taxes that you just brought back into, you know, that you're going to get collect taxes off of.
All right.
Off of that extra 107,000. So, you know, it's like I say, it's a proven fact.
Okay.
Then once you bring that to Opelousas, and that's just my theory, and it's worked everywhere. You bring that type of park, then around that park, what happens to that property? It starts developing.
Yeah,
because they're going to see all those people at that park weekend after weekend, and then what happens? He'll go to a little restaurant, a little store, you know, so it's a trickle effect.
Yeah, property value goes up.
Right. So this is what I'm talking about, economic development. And then once you get that going, then you start to see businesses wanting to come because they're saying, well, look, they got something positive going on over there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they got something every weekend over there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So that's part of my, you know, one of the things to raise revenues. Now, the second thing is I like to look at downtown.
Okay.
We definitely have to do something with downtown. And you know, a lot of people talk about low-income homes, but I think Opelousas needs some high-end homes.
Yeah.
So I would like to see downtown, like some of those old buildings that's going. And I know we have some issue with one set of buildings, but you know, we need to see how to overcome that, and there's ways to overcome it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see some condominiums downtown. Then you could start maybe putting some little stores, and you know, just when you start bringing people back into your downtown is when you start developing it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Lafayette. Their downtown was dead, and they revitalized it. And if Lafayette can do it, like I said earlier, anything you put your mind to, with the mindset, we can get it done.
Yeah.
And that's the optimism that I have for Opelousas.
All right. And you know, because and let me ask you this, you know, it's kind of wasn't on the schedule, but because you know, a lot of time I go places, I go to cities, I go to Opelousas, go to Lafayette, go to different places, but how important is it to have a strong, we hear this, and I don't know if people understand, how important is it to have a strong middle class? Because everybody say they want to be rich, everybody want to be wealthy. So why do we got to have a middle class? And one of the things I notice places I go in one area, beautiful, you see nothing but big mansions, and you notice it, man, what do people do
to be able to afford that.
And then you'll go not even half a mile down the street,
4 or 5 blocks,
and it's run down.
Right.
And so you know, and because you know, we're not telling folks to go out there and try to live above their means. We saying, like, let's develop. See, the word you're using is develop.
Right.
Not go out there and just get so you can say, because you know, I
want to be like the Joneses.
Yeah. Well, I knew somebody that used to install satellite, and they said they went to this. They would always go to this real fancy neighborhood, and I mean, they had some of the most beautiful homes. Beautiful, I mean, 3 or 4 car garage with high-end vehicles, and go in the house and there's no furniture, and the kids is on a mat in the living room in this big old house, you know, 5,500 square foot house, and the kids on the mat, and everything is disconnected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're talking about, like you said, development, and we got to start getting there first. Let's get there. But you know, why do we need a strong middle class or upper middle class?
Well, the first thing is you need because that's where the majority of your tax come from.
Okay.
So the middle class pays the majority of the taxes for the United States.
All right.
Not just in Opelousas, everywhere.
All right.
So,
is that fair?
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
It happened.
It is what it is, because I don't control that part. But you know, the thing about it is, what the important part of it is that we have to strive as human beings to always do better and to always be better.
Yes.
And to always improve. I was just sharing this with one of my kids about jobs, you know, and I said, you know, I went from one job to the other. You know, I've been very blessed because I was able to take one job, and I used that job to get a better job. I used that job to get a better job.
Yes.
And you know, people, I was selling cars before I did this. I've always been in sales. Commission sales is the #1 paying jobs in the world. People might not know that, but that's a fact. Yeah. Commission sales is the #1 paying job in the world. And I was selling cars. And when I went to work for Frito-Lay, I mean, we wear shorts and, tennis shoes and stuff. And so I met this lady, and she told me, she said, why would you give up selling cars to come do this? I said, huh? I said, ma'am, I said, well, I said, what you mean? I said, well, I tell you what. I said, let's take my check for a month. I get paid every week. So let's take my check for a month. And let's take your check for a month. Let's see who make more money. And I said, I'm not saying this to be facetious or to be, but you understand why I did it once you see the pay. Yeah. Commission sales is actually really good jobs.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm not a salesman and I don't, but commission sales is where it's at.
Well, a lot of people say that how you do that, man? I can't sell nothing. I said, well,
I'm gonna tell you, you have to be born with it.
All right.
I mean, it's a gift.
I got you.
And it's the same thing as when if you look at running for office, you have to be a people's person. You have to have some type of rapport with people.
All right.
Okay, so sales, you have to have a great rapport with your customer.
Yeah.
If you don't have a rapport with them, they're going to put that X on you every time you go to them.
Yeah. Well, because you'll go to a place and the people don't act right towards you, and
you got to suck it up, though.
Yeah.
You got to suck it up.
Yeah.
No,
but I mean, like customers. One thing people don't realize, is I talked to a lady one time who was talking about business, and she said that her husband disagreed with her on how you do business. She believed she had a business. We say we open at this time. We need to open at this time.
Right, exactly.
His attitude was, they're gonna come. He come from a small town where everybody know each other, and they'll call your house. What time you going in? I'll be in. The sign say 8, but I'm gonna go in 9:30 or 10. We say, well, you come to a larger place and you got 4 or 5 other businesses even though they know you,
they going to the other one.
They going where they go.
And the bad thing, we are creatures of habit.
Yes.
Okay, so when you break a habit and they start getting another habit, guess what happened to you? They forget about you.
Yeah.
So, it's the same thing in sales, though.
Yeah.
We have competitors.
Yeah.
We have chip competitors. So I have to stay on top of my game.
You have to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like that in everything in life. We gotta you gotta stay on top. I always say, because you're better than the next man doesn't qualify you, because you got to be the best you can be.
That's right.
Nobody's going to ask. Every man's going to be judged according to his, to whom much is given, much is also required. I mean, if a person can do better, then they're required. You're required to do better.
I tell people that all the time. You know what people ask me? I'm a trustee at my church, so I'm on the board of directors of the church. In the Catholic Church, there's the pastor, the trustees, and then the parish council, finance council, parish council, pastoral council. So I'm a trustee. There's only 2 trustees. So on the board of directors is the bishop, the pastor, and then I think he's a deacon, and the 2 trustees. So they're on the board of directors of the church. So what comes with that is a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I'm the budget chairman at my church. I'm on the pastoral council. I'm on the finance council. So it comes with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm on the fundraising committee.
All right.
Everything comes with that.
Okay.
So I'm saying that to say this. I tell people, how do you, people tell me, man, how you keep up with your schedule? I referee high school sports. Okay. I go to work, I take care of my church, and then I do sports. And I still got a family to take care of.
All right.
So my wife sings, and she goes all over. Sometimes I got to go set up her music for her to sing.
Okay, all right.
So I do all of that, and I manage all of that. So people say, well, how do you do it? It's by the grace of God.
Yes, yeah.
It's by the grace of God.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I have a lot of free time. A lot of my free time, somebody call me, man, can you come help me with this? Or can you come help me with that? I go do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, and on top of all that, for the last 26, 27 years, I coached softball, volunteered in the park most of that time. I coached basketball.
All right.
I coached all my kids in the park. I coached Billy basketball. I coached my kids at Opelousas Catholic. That's all volunteer work.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I'm not a Johnny-come-lately when it comes to volunteering.
But you know, to do that, you got to be a structured person.
You got to
have structure in your life. Your life got to be in order.
You have to learn how to plan. I'm telling you.
All right.
And this is probably running for office. It's probably the single biggest thing you have to do is learn how to plan.
All right. All right.
Is learn how to plan, because look, there's a lot to be done out there.
Yes.
There's a lot that the city needs. I mean, like I say, the city has been declining for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot that it needs, and I think that we're at a pivotal point right now in the time for Opelousas.
All right.
That it's time to get good, strong Christian leadership.
All right. Well, now explain a little bit what that is, an alderman at large. What is that you're responsible for?
Okay.
And what does that at large mean?
Well, at large means that you represent the whole city. Okay. That's the first thing. Now, alderman is the same thing as a city councilman. So in Opelousas, that's 5 districts.
Okay.
Okay, so that's A, B, C, D, and E. And then 1 at large.
All right.
The purpose of that large, one of the purposes for that large is that if you piss off your councilman and he don't like, say you had that opposite man sign in your yard and he lost, and that other man won, at least you got an advocate to get something done in your neighborhood. Okay, that's one of the. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a secondary to the primary.
Okay.
So, and the other thing is that, you know, that person has the opportunity to go see what's wrong in everybody's district.
All right.
And get it, and try to help get it corrected.
All right.
Now, as alderman at large, one of my sole things, I'm not going to really go in somebody's district and try to just take over the district. We're going to do it together.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's missing in Opelousas.
Okay. Okay.
What's missing is respect.
All right.
So we're going to respect everybody, and we're going to try to work together.
All right.
And that's what we got to stop the bickering and complaining and the crying and the hollering and the screaming.
All right.
And let's get together for the betterment of Opelousas.
All right.
This is what it's about.
Okay.
This is what, as alderman at large, that's what I'm going to do. Is I want to bring everybody together, and let's go out there on a united front and change Opelousas for the better.
All right. All right. All right. Wow, man, this is good. This is good. This is good. I got everything on my phone here, so I like to. We high tech.
Yeah, high tech now. Yeah, it used to come with some papers and stuff, but that's out of the door.
Oh yeah. Now, what are some of the first tasks you will take on?
Well, one of the first tasks, first meeting, I'm going to ask to be on the agenda, because our single biggest problem in Opelousas is our roads.
Okay.
So my first thing is I want to do a road fund.
Okay.
Okay, but I want to have dedicated funds for roads.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want you to tell me, oh, we're going to do the roads. No, let's have a dedicated fund.
Okay.
So I want to amend the budget to have dedicated funds.
All right.
Okay, for roads. Now, there's other avenues to get some roads done. I mean, I know we have bond issues that we can float. We can float some bonds.
Okay.
I think that's something that we probably need to hire a bonding attorney and see where we at with our bonds. That's something that's probably never been done in this administration.
Okay. Okay.
So it's time to get that done.
Okay.
To hire a bonding attorney. Let's get some bonds. Let's see what we can do with our bonds. Let's fix some of our infrastructure.
All right.
Roads. We got some sewage problems. We got some water problems. Okay, so what happens is a lot of it is we have, like even on Vine Street, going east, coming from Lawtell area. When you come into town, the reason the road is so bad because we have the government would like to fix that road.
Okay.
But we have to move the water and sewage from under the road and put it on the side.
Okay.
So that's going to cost a lot of money. So that's some of the things that we need to be looking at. You know, we need our veins, our big main intersections and main roads through town, we need those things fixed properly.
All right.
You know, so that when we do build that big park on that side of town, that's because they're going to have to go to 190 and then on Bullet to get to the park. It's real easy to get to.
All right.
We have I-49 running north and south, and we have US 190 running west and east.
Okay.
There's no reason that we should not have some type of industry, a lot more businesses in Opelousas. We're more central than anybody.
All right.
I mean, and we have really good prices on property. I mean, we have a lot of things going. We got a nice railroad coming through. We have a lot of things going for Opelousas.
All right. And how, you know, the roads, you know, me and my wife are driving, anywhere we're driving, in Lafayette, we be in Opelousas, or anywhere, I hit a couple of bumps, and she said, I see you hitting all the bumps in the rough. I see you finding where they at. You know what I'm saying? Okay, where we at? We can be out of town in Texas somewhere, and I hit too many bumps. She gonna say something.
You find them, huh?
Yeah, but why do cities, and this is, you know, you hear this a lot of time around election time, why do cities allow their roads to get bad like that?
Well, I think that the simple thing is they don't have funds.
Okay, all right.
You know, and, you know, but sometimes you have to, like I said, we have to dedicate some funds. Okay, so we may not say this year we might be able to dedicate $250,000.
Okay.
So we might be able to do 4 or 5 streets, because I think it's an average about 120, 130,000 to do a mile. If you only you don't have to dig up the whole street and reconstruct it. So just to overlay a street is probably somewhere about $130,000 a mile.
Okay.
There's no streets in Opelousas that's a mile long.
Okay.
I'm talking about, you know, without it being a state street, state highway or something. I'm talking about city-owned streets. There's no street that's a mile long.
Okay.
Not many if there's any.
Okay.
Okay, so you could do a few streets for that 130,000.
Okay.
If you just overlay them. So if you don't let them get too bad, then you can overlay them for, you probably do 2 or 3 streets. So to say this year we can dedicate $250,000 to the road fund.
Okay.
Dedicated road fund. Okay. Next year we might only be able to put 100,000.
Okay.
But at least you might be able to do 2 little streets. But if you show people progress,
Yes,
man.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
you know, the problem is we have a budget, but we don't have certain things in the budget.
I got you.
It's kind of like at your house. If say a water line broke, and you live in check to check, and that water line break, and you have no money to be able to fix that water line. That's how the city operating right now.
Okay. I got
You understand?
I got you.
So we as leaders, we have to change that.
Okay.
So we have to have dedicated funds for roads.
Okay.
If we don't do dedicated funds, we'll never get anywhere.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
See, that way nobody can't go just spend that money. You see, so if it's dedicated in that fund, it's going to stay in that road fund.
Yeah.
It ain't coming out
yeah.
of there.
Yeah. Nobody could go and fix their patio. With it. You know, and you know, that's the thing too that we've got to get out of, is that, again, selfishness. You know, years ago they had in Houston they had that happen, and there was a hurricane, and they paid this guy over $1 million to clean up the city.
Cool.
And first thing he did, he went and bought him 2 Lincolns. And they had video of him riding around with new clothes, had a hat. He was leaning, riding around the city, and did not pay, and spent every dime that they gave him. And they waited till the spent all that money and sued him for every dime up. He said, "You ain't done nothing." And had to get somebody else. Do you know what that? And see, we're talking about changing the mindset and progress. Houston is the 4th largest city in the United States at the time. Do you know what that would do for your business?
Oh, yeah.
If you did right by the 4th largest, you could open up in others. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so that mindset of, you know, is it because now we hear this a lot, and I'm gonna say this and we're gonna get to our last questions because we got about 10 more minutes. People say the politicians make us all these promises and get in office and don't do it. Now, is that willfully, or is it the fact that sometimes one person to get in, you want to do right, but you got folk around you don't want to do nothing. And let's just truthful about it.
Well, I would say it's a collective deal. You know, I would
Okay.
say it was more. It's a little bit of both.
Okay,
And then I
gotcha.
think too, you know, sometimes you could get overwhelmed in office.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
just from what I'm understanding.
Okay.
I'm hoping to not get overwhelmed because I like to be more organized.
Yes,
You know,
yes. Okay, all right. I ain't gonna put you on the spot.
No, you good.
Okay, now what's your approach to clean up the city?
Well, the first thing, like I say, is we need to look at our city and workers. We need to see where we lacking. I think that we need to figure a way to hire more, I guess I
Okay,
should say.
I got
I worked for the city years ago. I've been married 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So my first, I guess the first couple of years I was married, I worked for the city.
Okay.
And I worked in the street department. When I started, there was 3 full crews.
Okay.
Now I think there's 1 crew.
Wow.
So we need to look at, we have to work smarter, that's gonna be one thing. But we need to look at what we need to do or what can be done to hire more.
Okay.
I mean, we need more, to keep a city up, it takes labor.
Yes.
It takes labor. So I think the first approach is we need to sit down with the public works director and whoever else, the mayor and whoever he gonna have with him, his CFO or whatever he's gonna have, and sit down and talk, you know, and let's brainstorm and say, okay, you know, how much money we have here?
Okay.
You know, what can we do to hire a couple more people?
Okay.
You know, now like I say, today with the different technology we have in terms of grass cutting and different things, you know, maybe we don't need as many.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to invest in smarter ways to operate.
Okay. All right. Now, what single project would you want to take on in terms of infrastructure?
Well, I think the biggest project would be roads.
All right.
Okay. And like I said, you know, a lot of people say that, but you know, they talk the talk, but I'm gonna walk the walk.
All right.
If we get the votes to get dedicated funds, and then like I said, we need to look at the bond issues, you know, and I can see, man, look, I have a vision
All right.
of Opelousas
Okay.
when it's all said and done.
All right.
You know, I have a vision of a great, productive, you know, people that left gonna be coming back.
All right.
I see that, man. I'm very optimistic
All right.
about that.
All right. And you know, it takes that type of optimism to be able to, you know, to get in there and do something.
Let me ask you, you've seen Opelousas.
Mm-hmm.
On the north side of Opelousas, you have Chicken King and churches. That's all, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else. Why is that?
Okay, I got you. Now, I don't know why, but
I don't either, but I'm just, you know,
yeah.
it just mind-boggling to me that we don't have other.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you have other little restaurants, but I'm talking about fast food joints.
Yeah.
You should have at least one burger place on that side of town.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, think about it. You got the hospital, all those doctors' offices. You got all those other. Excuse me. You have some other little businesses down on that end.
Yes.
You know, people that will eat. You know, so why not try to go and say, hey, look, man, and they're gonna look at demographics. They're gonna look at different things, but you know, we have to try to convince somebody to come there.
Yeah.
We need to grow our north side. You understand?
Yeah.
Grow our north side, fix our downtown, and then clean up the city. I mean, that would be a big start to get Opelousas going in the right direction.
Well, you know, the Bible said, without a vision, people perish. And you're looking at, there's been no vision.
None.
When things start, you know, crumbling like that. It's been no real vision. You know, sometimes people have personal vision, but they don't have vision for everybody.
Right.
Or the growth but you know, I think some people like drama and confusion rather than actually working to accomplish something. You know, years ago, a friend of mine preached a message, busy doing nothing. He said, you could work yourself into a friend's and you look around and you ain't accomplished nothing.
Anything.
Like people like walking on, you're on a treadmill.
Right.
And you look around and say, well, I'm doing this, but you ain't accomplishing nothing because you're on a treadmill. You ain't going nowhere. You know. So how, you know, what does it take? What does it, in your opinion, take for people to not just work, but to actually get something accomplished in the city?
Well, like I said earlier, it's going to take a collective group of people.
All right.
We're going to have to depend on everybody.
All right.
We need everybody's ideas. We need everybody's to work. I mean, just like to clean up the city.
Okay.
If everybody pick the trash up around their house
All right.
and in front of their house,
All
just that. You know how much cleaner the city would be?
All right. All right.
Just that little part.
Okay.
So and in terms of attracting businesses or finding investment groups to invest in a business in Opelousas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's also options.
All right.
You know, it's just like McDonald's. McDonald's is a franchise-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we go find an investment group to say, hey, look at the vision I got right here.
All right.
Won't you come to North Opelousas?
All right.
Put your McDonald's over here.
All right.
Watch how much money you make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a highway coming from Washington right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you got Washington, Plaisance, all those people coming into town.
Yeah, yeah, and you talked about the roads and the city roads. Now, the state roads, the state is responsible for that, right?
Right. The state is in the U.S. like U.S. 190. That's actually a federal road.
Okay. Okay.
So they are responsible, and at one time I understood that they had the money to do it do that road,
Okay.
190. But the city didn't have their part to move the utilities from under the. They won't do it because what happens is when something break, you got to go tear up the road to fix it.
Yeah, yeah. That's sort of like when you hit them when those commercials, don't dig before you call that number.
Right.
Something could really happen.
See, the neighborhood I live in, our utilities are all in our yard.
Okay.
I have a manhole in my driveway.
Okay.
You know, I say a manhole, but a clean out or whatever they call it, manhole they call it. So I have it. It's in my driveway.
All right. All right.
The water is it's all along the sides of the street. We have nothing in the street in our neighborhood.
All right.
So, you know, I guess back in the days when they first built those things, you know, but built the roads, it wasn't a big issue.
Okay.
But now it's an issue.
Yeah. And we got about 3 minutes. You know, we gotta. Some people have trouble moving forward, and we've got to get people. Not just in Opelousas, not just in Lafayette, not just in Southwest Louisiana, but us as a whole, we got to get to moving forward and doing something other than the nonsense. You know, we need like the stuff that's going on on the national scene, all that confusion and bickering and arguing. Let's get away from that and let's do something.
Let's do something.
And
it's going to take some togetherness. It's going to take us to first go out and vote.
Yes.
Okay, early votes start on October the 23rd. So that's not this Tuesday. That's, next Tuesday.
All right.
Okay, so it's October 23rd. So October 30th. Election day is November 6th.
Okay.
We have to go vote. And when we go vote, we have to vote for people that's qualified to do the job.
All right.
So when you're looking at, when you're looking at somebody to vote for, we should be looking at, let's look at the history of that person. You know, I find it hard, you know, there's not many requirements to run for alderman. But I find it hard for somebody to run for office and they have never sat on any type of board. They've never did any, I mean, if you never really sat on some type of board before, you really don't understand Robert's Rules of Order. You don't understand how to make a motion. You don't understand the importance of reading minutes. Just little small things.
Okay.
So let's try to pick some qualified candidates.
All right.
Qualified, somebody that's got a vested interest in our city.
All right.
That's what I have a vested interest
All right.
in my city.
All right. And if somebody want to know a little bit more about you, what do they need to go?
You could go to John_Major@bellsouth.net. That's my email address. Or you could call me, at
All right.
337-351-6903. I have it all on my card, so
All right.
I don't hide.
All right. All right.
I'm gonna be available. I tell people all the time, I do have a full-time job. If for some reason I can't answer, leave me a message. I promise you I'll call you back.
All right, all right. Well, hey, look, this is John Kirsten Major. I'm with. He's been with me all day long. I mean, well, all hour long. I said all day long. But I'm thanking God that He's doing what He's doing a great job, and a lot of people are really trying. Let's move Louisiana forward. Let's
Right.
get together and do something. All right, God bless you. I'll see you next Wednesday. My wife will be back Monday.